We start this morning with breaking news. Sky 9 is over the scene of a death investigation at a dog park in Aurora. This is off of Quincy Avenue east of Buckley. 9 reporter Brianna Fernandez is there right now. Brianna, you got there early this morning, quickly trying to get that information. What more have police told you?
Yeah, we actually just spoke to the captain here from the Aurora Police Department. He gave us a little bit more information from what we first told you at 5 a.m. this morning. He says that right now it's still unclear how many devices were found here at the Grandview Dog Park. We know it's an adult male that died here on scene. So right now they are conducting a death investigation. I know we do have Sky 9 right now over the scene. If we can pull that up, just give you a overview of what we're seeing here from the Grandview Dog Park. So the scene has slowly been dying down. Aurora Police Department, there was a handful of them here on scene. We know that they have left since we got here at 5 a.m. this morning. Right now it's ATF and the bomb squad from the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. Those are the people that we're seeing on scene. So back out here live, my photographer is giving you a better look of the crime scene tape that we're seeing right here at the Grandview Dog Park. So again, this is just off Quincy and Buckley. If you're familiar with this area is going to be partially blocked off right along Quincy. So APD tells me that this was an accident involving some type of homemade explosive, likely homemade fireworks. So just before 1 this morning, officers received multiple calls about a suspicious explosion at the Grandview Dog Park. So this area, Quincy Avenue and Buckley Road, again, we are seeing a heavy police presence. We also got tips from some of our viewers who also heard some explosion noises, and that's because this is close to a residential area. I'm seeing apartments, I'm seeing homes here, townhouses. So this is where you're going to see a lot of that police activity. APD says that the man was killed when the device exploded. So Corey, Jordan, I asked if the dog park will reopen later today. They said that the dog park will reopen. So again, just keep in mind, if you are coming out here, you are going to see a heavy police presence. The scene has died down. And I know, Erica, you're tracking the roads for us. What are you seeing on your end?
Brianna, thank you so much. We know Quincy and Buckley, pretty busy area. So if any of you are going to be traveling that way, of course, still some closures like Brianna was just talking about. As far as what we look like on the drive elsewhere, we still have that northbound I-25 crash in Loveland clearing. It did move to the shoulder, though. So we're actually looking a lot better on northbound I-25 at Highway 34, not seeing any congestion. We've cleared out at 76 in Vasquez. We had a crash on that westbound side that had us jammed up, but we're actually back to normal and moving nicely. No issues at 270 and York and C470 and Highway 285. We're still moving along pretty good as well. Quick check of our graphics right now. We are seeing lots and lots of green at 6:02 on your Thursday morning. Again, northbound I-25 Loveland crash is the only one we're following in the shoulder. Denver to Boulder, the drive, and the rest of the metro still looking fantastic.
And thank you, Erica. You know, we started the show talking about that massive wildfire in Texas. They're going to get a little help today, and here's why. Here's the current satellite and radar picture. You see some snow and rain, a little disturbance moving right on into the panhandle. Let's go to their futurecast, and you can see the panhandle, and they will get a little rain mixed with snow. Trouble is, it's just going to not last all that long, but it could give them an edge into fighting these fires. For us, we've got temperatures right now in the single digits, above and below zero for the high country, otherwise teens, 20s, and 30s over our state. So it's going to be another mild day. 62 degrees is where we're headed in Denver with mostly sunny skies. Then for tomorrow, we'll be 64, keeping it going on Saturday, 66. Then we get a chance at a little snow on Sunday, cooling it down to 50 degrees. It's gone by Monday, 49. That's the normal high for this time of year with sunny skies, partly sunny on your Tuesday, and a bit warmer.
All right, Ed, thank you. Looking ahead, one of the paramedics convicted in the death of Elijah McClain returns to court tomorrow afternoon. A judge set the sentencing for Peter Kachuniak to begin at 1:30 in Adams County. Back in December, jurors found Kachuniak and Jeremy Cooper guilty of criminally negligent homicide. They are the paramedics who injected Elijah McClain with ketamine back in August of 2019. McClain was doing nothing wrong. After the injection, McClain lost consciousness and died a few days later in the hospital. Aurora Fire fired both paramedics after their convictions. Kachuniak's also included in a guilty verdict for second-degree assault for giving the drugs without consent. Kachuniak faces either probation or up to 16 years in prison during his sentencing. Cooper could also get probation or 6 years in prison. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for late April.
An update this morning, police in Aurora say the murder of a man found dead in an apartment was not a random crime. Officers were called to the apartment off of East Pacific Circle late Tuesday night. It's in southwest Aurora in the area of Iliff and Peoria. Police were called to check on the person living in the apartment, and when they got there, they found the door open, a light on, and then the man on the floor shot to death. Right now, police have no suspects, but ask anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 720-913-STOP. An update this morning, no charges will be filed against two Denver officers who shot and injured a veteran playing loud music in an apartment parking lot. This happened just days after Thanksgiving. 33-year-old Zachary Yates was in a parking lot at an apartment complex on South Oneida Street. Officers confronted him after hearing loud music and seeing him dumping trash in the dumpster. 9 News obtained body camera footage days after the shooting. Officers noticed he had an unholstered handgun behind his back. They repeatedly gave the man instructions. He did not comply for several minutes. 2 officers then shot Yates after they thought he was reaching for his gun. Police later found his gun was loaded. Yates survived and faces charges of unlawfully carrying a firearm and possessing a high-capacity magazine. The DA announced the police use of force was justified.
New this morning, another 47 migrants arrived in Denver on Wednesday. This is according to the dashboard the city updates on a daily basis. The city's data also showed another drop of people in city shelters. As of now, a little more than 2,300 people are using that housing as the total number of migrants the city has helped inches closer to 39,000. The city of Denver projects it will now have to spend tens of millions of dollars less on migrants as the number of people arriving here decreases. The city is also cutting some services for migrants. The city of Denver now expects to spend $120 million on migrants this year. And with less migrants arriving in the city, Denver will be closing 4 hotels used as shelter. They will be closing 1 per week over the next 4 weeks. And the city will now be focusing on case management to get people housing and work.
It does feel like a turning point for us. But I think it seems like the challenge kept getting harder and harder. It was almost if the federal government wanted to prove that they could make the hill steeper and steeper at every moment, thinking that we would give up.
Already announced budget cuts to the DMV and Parks and Rec. The city has also taken about $10 million out of its reserve funds. We're also only a few days from seeing those budget cuts at the DMV. Come Monday, you won't be able to renew your vehicle registration in person at DMV offices in Denver anymore. You'll have to do that online, by mail, or at a kiosk. Also, every office except the main office will close for 1 week every month to rotate the staff.
It's 6:07 right now. Former President Trump says he'll order the largest domestic deportation in America to address migrant crime. That's if he wins in November. He cited the death of 22-year-old Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Authorities say she was killed by an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela. On his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump said, quote, "Migrant crime is taking over America," and put the blame for that squarely on President Biden's policies.
This monster should never have been allowed in our country. He was released at Crooked Joe's orders and set loose into our country. The radical left Democrats then released him onto the public. If they don't go back to their countries, we will never get back our country.
Both former President Trump and President Biden are set to visit the U.S.-Mexico border today. Their appearances will be about 300 miles apart. Both will also try to convince voters they have answers for the problems there. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will step down later this year, ending his time as the longest-serving leader in Senate history. On Wednesday, the Kentucky Republican said it is time to pass the leadership torch to the next generation. He noted his national security views had put him out of step with a party now headed by former President Trump. Now, an election to replace him will happen in November. McConnell will retire from the Senate at the end of his term in 2027. Meanwhile, McConnell and other congressional leaders promise the country will have a long-term budget plan by March 22nd. For now, they're using another stopgap plan to keep the government open this weekend. The deadline to avoid a shutdown is tomorrow. Next week, congressional leaders will hold votes on 6 long-term funding bills. Colorado is set to receive $73 million from the federal government to make sure you have clean water to drink. It's part of a multi-billion-dollar effort to clean up our water supply across the country. 9 News reporter Anusha Roy joins us now. And Anusha, you've started tracking where this money could go.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of interested people right now. And right now there are Coloradans who are living in areas where there are things like uranium in the water that's naturally occurring in the soil, but you definitely should not be drinking it, or the water doesn't quite meet water quality quality standards. We're talking about the water you drink, you shower in, and cook. One of the areas dealing with this problem and really hoping to see some of that money is the Southeastern Colorado Water Conservancy District. These are the folks who are building the Arkansas Valley conduit to provide clean water out of the Pueblo Reservoir. Ultimately, this project could help get clean water to around 50,000 people in southeastern Colorado. Federal funding could help make it more affordable, and ultimately, it could also be playing a critical role in the economic growth of that area as well.
Quality has actually restricted economic growth in the lower Arkansas Valley. There's no question about it. This opportunity to develop and build the Arkansas Valley conduit is hugely beneficial in the future growth of the lower Arkansas Valley, both population-wise and economically. It's difficult to provide opportunities to others when you have a limited or poor supply of water.
So actually, in the last 3 years, the EPA has invested nearly $300 million on wastewater and drinking water projects here in Colorado. The $73 million we're talking about today is out of nearly $6 billion being spent across the country. And the water district that we talked to is really hoping to have an answer in the next 2 to 3 months if they're going to be getting some of that money. Either way, they're going to finish that project. It's just how much does it cost the people who are relying on it?
Exactly, but this is something we've heard a lot of people mentioning. Of course, it's become a really big problem.
Yeah, and these are not cheap projects, and this is a huge project. It's about 130 miles between Pueblo and Lamar, and a lot of people are relying on it. In that area, around half of the people are living in areas where they can't rely on the water quality. It's just not meeting standards.
This is a big deal. All right, Anusha, thanks.
Well, one thing you want to know about our weather today is the weekend. Yeah, let's look ahead. Saturday is going to be pretty nice, 66 degrees and partly sunny skies. Then Sunday, a little bit of a change. Cooler weather, 50 degrees for a high. Not all that bad, but we do have a 40% chance for snow.